Hey, welcome back to the part 2 of the RT crafting station and harvest. So, the biggest advantage of the RT crafting station is that it respect the meta mod. So, whenever you craft, let's say, suffixes cannot be changed or prefixes cannot be changed on an item, if you were to use essences or fossils, it wouldn't respect it, so it wouldn't do anything. So, you're wasting your currency pretty much. But when you're using RT crafting station, it actually works. And also there's some modifier that only exists on the RT crafting station, just like changing resistance, which can be used on Puhuarte modifier, and also plus maximum elemental resistance on, let's say, shield. Here we have a plus 3 maximum fire resistance on shield. You can actually swap that one to lightning or something. And there's also some other stuff that are really cool with RT crafting station. You can gamble divination cards. I always say that it's not worth gambling divination cards, but because on average it's a net negative. But there's some other stuff. There's some enchants that you can use on your body armor, on your weapons. But and the other thing is you can just spam it over and over. You don't have to use the recombinators. So it's pretty easy to just spam it over and over if you want to be quick. Here we will craft chaos resistance on this one. For this league, I don't think it's worth that much. It's a good idea because if we look at the price of the yellow juice right now, the Vivid Crystalized Lifeforce, it's like 1400 for a divine. So pretty much we have like 14 tries to for every divine to get something good out of it. So I don't know if it's worth it, but usually it's super good doing this. So what I did is I picked up an amethyst ring and I 20% qualityed it and then I split it because now getting 20% resistance modifier quality is super expensive this league since they changed from metamorph to ultimatum. So now we'll just try to use it. So as you can see here, it's a guaranteed chaos modifier. So the only modifier on the normal a non-influence ring is chaos resistance. So we're guaranteed chaos resistance. Now we'll see what here we get. So here's a good example. So we got tier 3 chaos, so which isn't bad. We got some cold resistance and some dexterity. So if we were just to price check that one, like okay, it's listed at 5 divine right now, but I don't think it's worth that much. But you can see it's pretty easy to come up with something good. Yeah, you could be doing the same thing with fossils to be honest, but remember a fossil isn't guaranteed. And then we'll use it on the other one. Okay, so here we got a big tier of chaos resistance in tier 1 and also the highest tier of accuracy. But sadly the plus all attributes is pretty low. Still, if we were just to price check this with the accuracy and the chaos resistance, one divine maybe. So what I would like to do with this one is just try to annul something out of it. Hopefully not the chaos resist or the accuracy. Okay, so now we remove the prefix. So what we could do to keep going with this is we could keep suffixes and then reforge prefix with something on the RT crafting station, or use a veiled chaos orb will work. But as I said, since the RT crafting station respects the meta mods, this is what we'll do just for the sake of this example. So suffixes cannot be changed, and then we can craft something on the crafting station. As I said, I don't think it's the best way to go about it, but this is what we'll do for just to show you how it works. We'll craft and life, so we're guaranteed a prefix as life. So we hit a pretty low tier, we hit tier 5, but then we could craft. We can block something in Exalt Slam, so this is what we'll do. So we'll craft mana on it. Use an Exalt. See what we come up with. Okay, so tier 1 evasion, not bad. And then we can craft minus mana cost, right? And now what what it actually is right now is even without the accuracy, it's already good enough. So yeah. Just remember the best thing about the R2 crafting station is that it respects the meta mods. So the cool thing about the RT crafting station is that it guarantees a mod. So unlike fossils where it gives you more chances to hit a mod, it guaranteed. And as I said earlier, it uh, respects meta mods. And the other thing is that it's pretty quick. You don't have to like socket fossils into resonators over and over and try to do that. But the cool thing is that you can just put it here and then spam it over and over as long as you have the juice for it. It's not, most of the time, it will not be the cheapest way to go about it, but it's the fastest. So where you lose money on like the cost of it, you actually gain time, which is, in my opinion, is the best thing. So, so here, for example, it's a hunter amethyst ring. So what we're trying to get is the curse. So if we look at PoEDB, modifiers, modifier again, jewelry and rings. All right. Then we go down to the hunter. That's the influence we have. You can see there's two curse on it possible. There's elemental weakness and despair, both on hit. And if you look at it, there's a caster tag. So we can actually target that with the RT crafting station. There's no curse on the RT crafting station, but as long as it's one or the other. And why are we doing this? Is that if you look at the modifiers, the only other caster modifier is this one, increased cast speed. Since we are guaranteed a caster modifier using the RT crafting station, as you can see here, we'll just use this until we get a curse on it. As I said, the only modifier possible are curse on it or increased cast speed. So here we have curse with elemental weakness. But if we were to like look at this, okay, it says 30 divine, but of course it's not worth that much. The reason why it goes up so fast is that it has chaos resistance, and this is what the why we are using an amethyst ring. Okay, so we'll just use it on another one until we get, like here you can see cast speed again, cast speed again, again, and curse with despair on it with some accuracy. I don't think it's worth that much, but still, you can see. And then we'll do it with another one, cast speed, cast speed, cast speed, cast speed, and curse with elemental weakness. As you can see, it's pretty fast, right? So imagine you had a bunch of those, you could be like rolling tons of them, and then as always, you can always go to your bench craft and craft another modifier. Let's say on this one, we'll craft probably minus mana cost to the non-channeling. Non-channeling, okay. This one, it has a prefix. I guess we'll just craft life on it. And this one has a suffix open. So what we could do is just add even more chaos resistance. So any hybrid chaos and elemental resistance. And yeah, again, you could be crafting suffixes cannot be changed and then come up with whatever modifier you want. Next, we have a pair of gloves, which has a mod, a Puhuarte mod. So as you can see here, the plus 48 to fire resistance and added fire against burning enemies. You can actually swap that one. So what we could do is just fire to cold this, and then it will change the whole mod. And yeah. Now, since it already has life, I would say we could just craft convert physical to cold, but what you could do is just keep suffixes and then change prefix with a veiled chaos. But right now this is fine enough. So as you can see now, the mod also not only did it change the cold resistance, but it changed the mod, the Puhuarte mod, to increase damage against with it against shield enemies. Then we just craft a physical percentage of physical damage converted to cold, and then yeah. I bought this pair of gloves for 5 divines, and now if we were to look at it, 220 divines. I don't think it's worth that much, but as you can see, if you just swap it over, it's pretty good. This is something you can do with shields too. So the plus maximum to fire, lightning, or cold, you can swap them around. So this is another cool thing you can do with RD crafting station. And again, you can always, let's say you have 110 lightning resistance and only 30 cold resistance. Well, you can always change one for the other and fix your res early on. It can be pretty good. The other thing you could do is that if that let's say that pair instead of dexterity add a open suffix, you could actually craft that other suffix using the benchcraft modifier. Suffixes cannot be changed, and then put that pair of gloves. As I said, if it didn't have dex, and then craft speed. That way you're guaranteed attack speed. Because if you look at PoEDB on the normal non-influence gloves, the only one that has the speed tag is attack increase attack speed. So there's no other mod. So you're guaranteed one. You don't know which one you're gonna get, but you're guaranteed at least one of those. So this is why it's so powerful. I have a video on how to craft those gloves. I will link it into the description. Another cool thing with crafting with Harvest on the RT crafting station is that you can actually enchant your body, armor, and your weapon. So if we type in enchant, you can see there's, and also flask if you want to, but I'm not too keen on those. But you can actually like get some more life or quality on the armor, or some attributes, or even like resistance. But I don't like those too much because it only gives like, let's say 10% in, like 10% resistance or 10 uh, attribute. But if it's the only way you can actually fix your build, it can be something useful. But what I really enjoy is the enchant weapons. So especially if you're a caster and you're actually not using the quality on your weapon, you can always like increase the area of effect, or the but most importantly, like the one I use the most is the increased elemental damage. It's not a ton of increased DPS, but it is something when you're trying to min-max. This is something you can do, and I really enjoyed that one. And also sometimes, like instead of increasing the quality on your weapon, if you change it for attack speed, it's actually better. So just double check it in PUB before doing that. But yeah, it's super useful. Another useful thing you can do with the RT crafting station is actually change a stack of fossils, oil, catalysts, or essences into something else. But this league, since the Lifeforce, or the juice as I like to call it, is at such a high price, I don't think it's worth it. But normally, like, you can change corrupted essences with this, or any normal essences, also oils, and even catalysts. But right now, like the yellow Lifeforce is like 1200 Lifeforce for a divine, so it goes pretty fast. Because if you look at this price, right, 30, it's for a single catalyst. So if you were to use a full stack, it would jump to 300 instead. So because I think, yeah, catalysts are, I think they're 10, yeah, 10 per stack. So but yeah, maybe not this league, but usually it's a pretty good thing. You can split even sometimes, like the timeless splinters could be a good, or breaches could be a good thing. But this league, as I said, it's not the case. You also can do that with scarabs. Sometimes Darium orbs are like a certain type of Darium orbs are super in demand. So yeah, and so the fragments are also useful if you're playing solo self-found, because sometimes you're not able to get whatever fragment you were looking for. But yeah, this is another thing you can do with harvest. All right, next we have the craft, which uses the secret crystallized life force. So just make sure you know what you're doing with those, because it costs a lot of essence. No, not essence, I mean life force. So just be careful, especially this league, since the life force costs so much. So the first one is reforge the color of a random socket on an item, turning it white. The reason why I barely ever touch this one is that it can actually turn a already white socket into white, so pretty much doing nothing, and as you can see, it costs a lot. So this one I barely ever use. Those are cool. Add a new fire, cold, lightning, whatever modifier, and then removes. But you have to keep in mind that it adds first, then remove. Uh, and also on a non-influence item, so you cannot use this on on an influence item. But the weird thing about it adds first, then removes. So you need to have an open prefix or suffix or something to be able to add it first. So it's pretty rare to use those. It's on advanced crafting, I would say. So as you can see, there's one for fire, cold, whatever tags there exist. And then we have synthesize an item. So those can be pretty cool, especially on cluster jewels. So let's say you crafted the perfect cluster jewel for yourself. Well, you could be using a Valorb and actually maybe sometimes breaking it, or just you synthesize it and then you get whatever you're getting. Most of the time it won't be much, but this is like if you want to min-max, this is something you can do. And then this one is pretty cool. It's used in really advanced crafting. So it reforged an influence with a guaranteed influence modifier. The cool thing is that it respects meta mods. So if let's say you have all your suffixes done on an influence item and you want to get something specific on your prefixes, well, you can lock suffixes, like suffixes cannot be changed on your benchcraft, and then use this. So in conclusion, why is Harvest good? Well, first, as I stated previously, it is really speed efficient. So if you're crafting, you can do it with a single craft. Let's say you're trying to craft something with gold, you can do it over and over until you hit what you're looking for. There's some crafts that are only available through Harvest. Let's say like the res swapping, so resistance, or maybe the enchant for the weapons or stuff like that. So it's pretty good for that. And but the biggest one is, as I stated multiple times during this video, it respects the meta mod. So whenever you're crafting, suffix is gonna be changed, prefix is gonna be changed. If you were to use an essence on or a fossil on it, it will not respect it and craft the whole item. But with RD crafting station, it will respect it. So if you craft suffixes cannot be changed and then craft something on the RT crafting station, it will keep your suffixes. So hopefully this was helpful. If you want more specific craft or more example, just let me know in the comments. And as always, take care, guys.